realize that this isn't the time or the place.
You're correct. This isn't the time or the place.
Could I get you a scotch and soda, Mr. Gifford?
No thanks, Grove. You're much too valuable a man for that.
Oh, Jerry, I forgot something. I'll have to go back to the room.
Oh, well, I'll wait here for you.
No, you go ahead. I won't be a minute.
You need the key. Hello.
How do you do? I'm Tony Andrews.
Oh, I'm Mrs. Talbot. I'm glad to see you.
You'll be seeing a lot of me. Wherever you go and whatever you do in New York, I'll be along to pick up the tab.
Well, I'll continue to be glad to see you.
Sir, this is Mrs. Talbot.
And I don't need to be told you're Mr. Gifford.
You flatter me.
I recognized you from your pictures.
I make sure they flatter me, too. I'm sorry, honey. I didn't see you come in. You're the only one who didn't. Welcome to New York, Talbot. Hey, there's Mr. Gifford.
Who's that with him?
Oh, that must be Mrs. Talbot.
The little Texas darling.
How'd she get there?
She let us run interference for her. I should say at the moment she's making a forward pass.
This is my third martini, do you mind?
Oh, why should I mind?
Well, Bill does. He never likes me to have more than one, but I'm scared stiff.
So you're drinking yourself stiffer.
Do I show it?
Well, far be it from me to help the competition, but I'll let you in on an old trade secret. The minute a company wife takes her third jolt at one of these clam bakes, she's automatically classified as a dipsomaniac. Here, you better eat up.
Thank you.
Dear. Let me suggest that when we are together, we will have a much better time if you all forget that I am president of our company. Else. Thank you. That's just what I mean.
Well, that was a very handsome compliment you...
No one was listening to me, thanks to this uninhibited young beauty.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Oh, no, not sir. I mean, I'm sorry, Mr. Gifford.
Please believe that I welcomed your, shall I say, comment on my speech. I was slightly bored myself. Tell me, is this your first visit to New York? Splendid. You'll have something to tell your children. You have two, I believe. Oh, three. And I suppose they're the most wonderful children in the world. I knew you were going to say that.
Here, darling, water.
Yes, pinch your nose. Drink from the opposite side of the glass, upside down. That's right. You know, I'm beginning to understand why your husband has been so successful.
Some companies seem to regard the wives as liabilities.
Some wives are.
Only if they're married to the wrong man.
Any man would be the wrong man for some wives.
Then he would be the wrong man for that wife.
I know we're dancing, but isn't our conversation getting somewhat circular? You think she's making a play for Gifford?
Oh, let's be charitable. Let's just say she's interested in that Briggs job for her husband.
Well, in my opinion, Mrs. Baxter certainly knocked her husband out of the running.
I wasn't referring to Mrs. Baxter.
Just what does that mean?
I saw you working on Gifford tonight.
Well, you won't go after the job. You even act as if you didn't want it.
Sure I want it. So does Burns, so does Baxter.
Liz, I want to thank you. You had me worried a couple of times, but all in all, you were a pretty swell wife tonight.
Thanks.
I'm sure you made Gifford believe it.
Oh.
You really did a solid job.
Do you mind if I comment on your job? That Gifford seems to be a very sharp cookie, and he might notice that you're trying too hard. Just a little too hard.
I'm trying too hard. What about the Talbot woman?
You answered your own question. She's a woman. Prime Texas beef with New York steaks in exactly the right places.
What's that got to do with it?
You'll find out.
That's the public library.
Those lions look superior, don't they?
They remind me of somebody. Oh, I know. They look like Mr. Gifford.
Very discerning of you, Mrs. Baxter. Mr. Gifford has been accused of posing for them.
Wasn't it considerate of Mr. Gifford to furnish us with such a tactful and entertaining escort?
We wouldn't know about that.
Oh, now, please, ladies, I am not worthy.
Well, Mrs. Talbot can use you for practice until she gets a chance at that old string bean Gifford again.
Don't repeat that to your uncle.
Oh, he can tell his uncle as far as I'm concerned. He can tell his aunt, too.
His uncle happens to be Mr. Gifford.
Mr. Andrews, if you get near a river, would you please stop? I'd like to jump in.
Katie, you're getting the roof of your mouth sunburned.
Hi.
Hi.
How'd you get along with Mr. Gifford?
I haven't the slightest idea.
You didn't say or do anything to offend him.
I wouldn't know.
What about the others?
Oh, Burns delivered his pat little speech. But Baxter wouldn't guess him. He gave him an argument.
That's why you should be general manager. Jerry, I have a confession to make. I fell in love today.
How's that?
I fell in love today. Desperately.
Oh, with that young Mr. Andrews?
No. With New York. Oh, Jerry, this is the most fabulous, exciting, thrilling city. Oh, we just have to be here. Oh, this is where all the most important people in the world are.
Carol, could it be that you're just a bit of a social climber?
Well, if I am, then New York is Mount Everest.
Suppose it doesn't work out.
It just has to. We're on our own for dinner tonight. Tony suggested the pavilion. You better shave.
Pavilion? I never heard of it.
You will.
I'd say I came out on top.
What brings you to this modest conclusion?
Well, Baxter reeled off a lot of high-sounding stuff, and all Talbot said was that a general manager ought to be a little better than the next fellow. Made it a perfect setup for anybody that could make sense, and
Aren't you forgetting about your ulcer?
Sorry, you asked me a question. I was just trying to answer it for you. If you're not interested.
Forgive me. For the moment, I forgot about the job and was interested in you.
You think I'm a conceited heel, don't you?
No.
Well, I do. Now that I've thought about what I've been saying.
How is your ulcer?
Terrible. The food at the plant is cooked in steel pots for iron stomachs.
But if you accomplish something for yourself, I guess the suffering is worth it.
Sure. You're right, Liz. All in all, I'd say I had a very good day. I don't claim to be dazzling, Mr. Gifford, with my personality, but I'm getting someplace. Don't you think so? Oh, now, please, Liz, I'm not being conceited now. I'd like your honest opinion as an outsider.
Sure. As an outsider, I can see you're getting someplace. Every minute you're getting closer to the job that's going to kill you. Every minute you're getting closer to the end of our marriage. You're asking for compliments from me. All in all, I'd say you had a wonderful day. Congratulations.
Well, Liz, wait, aren't we having dinner together?
How would I know your plans?
Well, where are you going?
Where do you think I'm going? As an outsider, I'm going outside.